Welcome to this episode of Mindful Medicine. I'm your host, Tracie Jones, and today we have Dr. Jim Schrenker. Dr. Schrenker, one of the things that is a hot topic right now is weight loss.
Right.
Everyone seems to be on a bandwagon of, I want to lose weight or I have obesity.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about what is going on with obesity and what is safe out there for weight loss?
Right. So the epidemic of obesity is very complex, and you will get very smart people to agree and disagree on multiple different issues. One of the things that is absolutely true is we have such easy access to high-calorie foods 24 hours a day. In the 1800s, you had food if you shot something. You didn't have refrigeration. But now we got refrigeration, we got packaged food, we got food that stays on the shelf for years that is full of calories and full of sugar. So you have access. So that's an issue. Arguably the most tumultuous time emotionally for human beings that I've lived in or in the modern world. I mean, everybody's anxious, everybody's depressed, everybody has emotional issues. With those emotional issues comes eating and emotional eating and other coping mechanisms that aren't quite so helpful. So we have access to food. We have a high level of anxiety and depression in society. And we have people that are moving less now than they've ever moved. You know, you got a 1/4 acre lot and you're on a riding lawnmower. You know, or you pay somebody to mow your yard and you have a gym membership, right? Or do you even go to your gym membership? What's hanging on your treadmill in your basement, right?
Right.
So access to food, the emotional issues, and then movement. Those are going to be the big issues. If you look at the blue zones of the world, the places in the world where people live substantially longer with less debility, all of them have very, very common things. They have natural movement. They move a lot in their daily activities. A lot of them are subsistence farmers. A lot of them do manual labor all day long. Okay? They have naturally built-in mindfulness. They know how to unwind. They have times during the day that they stop working and they just sit there. They eat dinner with family. They have that community and they have that tribe. And they also have a spiritual belief. So if you look at that and you put all that together and you live that kind of existence, then you've naturally pre-selected for a longer life, less obesity, and with less obesity, less everything, less diabetes, less hypertension, less cancer. And that doesn't cost any money. None of that is a pharmaceutical. None of that is that is just you making up your mind that you're going to do something different. Unfortunately, that frame of mind is not considered the American work ethic, right? Work the extra couple hours, take a sleeping pill.
Yeah.
Right. Oh wait, then you need more coffee in the morning because you're
right.
So the fact that we don't adopt lifestyles that are conducive to longer life, healthier life, and better health is our own fault. I mean, we are supposed to be able to influence the government to change laws, yet we don't. Corporations do. So I think that sets us up to be fat. Now, obesity itself, 2 out of 3 people in Tennessee are either obese or overweight. National Institute of Health predicts that in 2032, I believe is the date, 82% of the population will either be obese, overweight, diabetic, or pre-diabetic.
Wow.
So it's not going to be normal to be your ideal body weight. That's going to be abnormal.
That's very different from when I grew up.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't cost any money to fix that. And I don't make a lot of friends when I go through why people weigh too much. If you break it down, it's physics. There is a little bit of leeway with your metabolism. There's a little bit of leeway with when you eat and that, but it's really, at the end of the day, your weight is a direct correlation to the amount of calories you've put in your body, period. If your metabolism's sluggish, yeah, you might have a couple extra pounds. You're not going to have 100, right? So you're 5'4", you weigh 225 pounds, right? You're 70, 80 pounds overweight. But I only eat one meal a day, and I don't eat hardly anything. Okay, so here's what you have to do. You have to look yourself in the mirror and go, I weigh 225 pounds. Whatever I am doing right now is causing me to weigh 225 pounds. So don't worry about how much you're eating. Don't try to qualify it. Don't try to make excuses. Whatever you're doing, if you're eating one meal a day and there's 12 calories in that meal, then maybe you need to eat 6 calories that day. But you're not. They're eating 2,000, 2,500 calories a day. They're not being honest with themselves. They're not figuring out their calories. It doesn't matter if you drink it or you eat it. A calorie is a calorie.
I was getting ready to say, how many of that is through what you drink?
Right. You know, you get one Frappuccino at Starbucks and you're 5'2", you've eaten your entire calorie consumption for the entire day by 7:30 in the morning.
Wow.
You know, you eat McDonald's, you've had your sodium allotment for 3 days.
3 days?
3 days. So I wonder why you have high blood pressure. I only eat McDonald's 3 times a week.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So there's so many calories in what we eat, and there's so much additives. You got to understand, McDonald's doesn't sell a hamburger because it's healthy. They sell a hamburger because it's addictive. Right? I've had a McDonald's hamburger. They're delicious. Right? And when I eat one, what do I want? Another one. Right? So you got to understand that if you're doing that and you're eating it and it's super high in sodium and it's super high in sugar and it's got MSG, which is a food additive that increases your hunger, you don't have a chance. You can't be fit and lose weight eating fast food or junk food because it's so addictive. You have to break that addiction. And if you do break the addiction, you're going to feel like poop for about 3 or 4 days because the withdrawal from the white sugar and the white flour is amazingly difficult to go through. Once you get through that for 72 hours or 96 hours, you will feel much better as far as your joints go, as far as your brain function goes, as far as your sleep. It doesn't take a month to feel better. It takes really 4 to 5 days eating fresh fruit, organic vegetables, organic fruit, less meat, no meat. It's not rocket science. It doesn't cost any money. It's free.
But it takes time.
Oh, and it takes commitment.
And you can't just, like you said, you're not just going to eat one meal and then one healthy meal and everything change.
It is a commitment to a lifestyle change that can never end. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm going to eat great for 3 weeks and then I'm going to be good for the next 6 months. No, you're going to be great for the next 3 weeks and 1 day, right? And then it's going to come back in. So, and if you look at the commercially available solutions for weight loss, you got, you know, gastric bypass, gastric sleeve, you got injectables, tirzepatide, semaglutide, you got phentermine. All of them decrease your appetite. All of them decrease the amount of food that you can put in your body. All of them do the same thing. None of them increase your metabolism. The recidivism rate of a person using a drug or a surgery for weight loss is upwards of 98%. So out of 100 people that do that, 98 of them will gain their weight or more back after they're done because they have not used that medication in the correct way or they have not used that surgery in the correct way, right? You need to use those as a springboard to change your meal plan, to change your cupboards, to change your eating habits.
Change your lifestyle, right?
Right. I mean, and that's where Reiki comes in. That's where hypnosis comes in. That's where acupuncture comes in. Getting a meal plan from a dietitian. How simple is that? Plug and play. I mean, Brandy, our dietitian, can get you something that has not only the recipes, pictures of what it should look like, and a shopping list. I mean, and if you're busy, you click that, you click it over to Walmart, you click it over to wherever you're getting your food, and you go pick it up.
Right.
So But it takes a while because you got to change your cupboards. You got to be able to open up your cupboard and be able to grab something out that isn't going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're opening up your cupboard and say, I can only have a little bit of this, why is it in your cupboard? Right? Because you're not going to open up the carrot box and say, I can only have 2.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, more like, oh God, I got to eat 2. So it's super simple. You lower your calories, you increase your movement, and the weight will come off. And there's no other way around it. There's nothing else that'll work. But the big thing, if your weight is stuck, you got to understand that your weight's stuck because of whatever you're doing. I don't care how much you think you're eating. You know, there's only one way that you can gain weight medically without changing your diet, and that's if you got a giant tumor growing in your body. Mm. And even then, you're only going to gain weight if you eat more calories, right? Because the tumor is going to eat up your body and balance it out that way. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and when you eat, how important is that? That's very important. You know, if you got an identical twin that takes their last calorie in at 5 o'clock and the other one takes their last calorie in at 10 and then has a snack, and they're both eating the same amount of calories, well, the one that's eating later will be less fit and have more body fat. They may not weigh any different, but they're not going to be as in shape as the other one because nobody is burning a calorie at 10:30 at night in bed.
Right. They're
just going to the visceral fat. It's going to the fat you don't want to have. So, timing of your food. You know, intermittent fasting. The best intermittent fasting is the last calorie at 2 p.m. But the reason that that's the best is because most people's biggest meals is in the evening.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you eat breakfast and lunch and then you're done. The most people that do intermittent fasting stop at 7 or 8 and then first calorie at 11 or 12. And that's good because the body gets into ketosis to some degree towards 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So then you're burning the fat that's in the liver first, which is the first fat that you're going to burn. And then once that gets burned up a little bit, then you start losing your belly and your thighs. So, but it's all about the number of calories. You know, what you eat determines how long you're going to live and how good you feel. How much you eat determines how much you weigh.
And that also means not being so busy in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for me, you always, hey, want to go do this? Hey, let's go do that. I mean, there's always something that you can do. Right. And being able to say, I appreciate the invite. I just can't do that this week or maybe next week, so that you are intentionally being a little less busy.
Right.
And you can focus on those shopping lists, going to the store, even pre-preparing as much as possible.
Prepping your food on Saturday or Sunday for at least a couple days during the week, right?
Yeah.
You know, but again, one of the things that we mention a lot in the office is at some point you have to make the decision that being hungry is better than going through McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're cachectic, unless you are underweight, you don't need those calories, you know. And the other principle is, let's say I'm 5'2", I'm 220 pounds, okay? So I've already eaten my 1,200 calories, my 1,500 calories for the day. I'm done. I've eaten all the calories I want. And I have the ability to eat an apple, an organic apple, or an organic salad. Is it good for you? Yes, nutritionally it is, but it's excess calories. Cows weigh 2,000 pounds. They eat grass all day long, right? Yeah. You eat a bunch of calories, you're going to have a bunch of weight. So even healthy, perfect food in the wrong quantities can be a problem. Now it's less of a problem, but it's still be a problem. So, you know, when you're hungry and you're getting ready to go to the ballpark, is it too much to ask to go to bed hungry that night? For most people it is, you know, but can you get an apple? Can you get a banana? Can you get something in your system so you're not ravenously hungry? Because the last thing you want to do is go into home at 9 o'clock at night and open up the cabinet and start eating chips or something.
Right. What about water, though? I mean, I've heard, you know, sometimes when you get the hunger pains, you're not really hungry, you're thirsty.
Right.
And if you'll, you know, drink a bottle of water, sometimes that helps.
Anything that'll fill up the stomach is going to be helpful. One of Brandy's go-to, we use berberine or bergamot. We use a supplement called Lipotrophic Detox, which has some milk thistle in it, some B vitamins, and some other antioxidants in it. And then fiber capsules, you know, Metamucil or fiber capsules. Because if we can put something in the stomach that doesn't have any calories, that doesn't have any artificial colors, artificial flavors, artificial sugars, and just is like a volume expander, then you're going to feel like you've eaten, you know. So, and if you can get rid of the carbohydrates, the simple carbohydrates, you won't have the crashes. So what gets a lot of people is, you know, they've had their bagel for breakfast. Well, at 10 o'clock, that sugar spike is crashing down, and now they have to eat. They're not only have hunger pains, they have brain fog, they have agitation, so they got to eat. But if you get over that and you don't have your high carb diet, you're not going to have those. You can go literally days with just drinking water and feel a lot better that way too. So, but that gets into fasting. That's probably another episode.
Okay.
So,
well, we'll make a note of that and do that one sometime soon. Yeah.
Very good. Anything else?
No, I think that's good. Thank you so much.
All right.
And thank you for watching this episode of Mindful Medicine. And we'll see you next time. And remember, you are loved.